Hi, this is Thomas Ahrens and here's my next video. It's about 45 BPM. I'll show you some rudiments I practice to that tempo. Of course, you can practice those rudiments to the doubled or quarter tempo, 90 BPM or 180 BPM. And of course, you have to practice it to slower pace if you're not able to play these rudiments at this tempo. 45 BPM is the 8th tempo in my list of chromatic tempos, and it is also the tempo of a song list I use for running. See my previous videos on this topic. Before we start, let me explain some of my rudiment concepts. I practice a single paradiddle with hands and with feet, starting from every position, though I got 8 exercises. I practice only 6 flam rudiments, that are the one Jojo Meyer presented in his video sequence Weapons for the Modern Drummer. You can see them all here. I practice all of them with hands and with feet in 2 versions, starting from the right side and starting from the left side. 5 of these rudiments always change sides back and forth. Only pataflans have 2 distinct different stroke sequences. I found it sufficient to concentrate on these 6 flam rudiments, and therefore I don't practice any other flam rudiment. Preferably, I practice clearing songs with the particular tempo I'm practicing too. But there are some rudiments which have a triplet feel or a 3/4 time signature. I don't have enough songs with that particular feel or rhythm, so I use metronome instead. In addition to that, I use metronomes for rudiments that alternate between triplet feel and straight feel, and those who alternate between triplet feel and 3/4 time signature. I don't have any songs to fit that feeling. With that said, let's start. I begin with some rudiments I practice to the metronome, and then afterwards some I practice to songs. Here you see me drumming a combination of flam access and flam paradiddles. I divide this exercise into parts of 4 bars. I start with the right hand playing flam triplets as 32nd note triplets and flam paradiddles as 64th notes to a beat of 45 quarter notes per minute. First I play 2 bars triplets and 2 bars paradiddles. Then I play twice 1 bar triplets in 1 bar paradiddles. Then I play 4 times a half bar of triplets and a half bar of paradiddles. Then I change every beat for 4 bars. Then I change every half beat for 4 bars. After this exercise, I start over again, this time starting with the left hand and with paradiddles. As I mentioned in my last video, you should go 4 steps down on my list of chromatic tempos if this is completely unplayable for you at 45 BPM. In this case, 4 steps down from 45 means 36 BPM. If this is also unplayable for you, go another 4 steps down to 57 BPM but play 16th notes, triplets and 30-seconds notes instead of the previous mentioned note lengths. After you found a tempo in which you can master this exercise easily, rise this tempo one step at a time in my system of chromatic tempos. Here I play flam accents with feet and I add 30-second note triplets with both hands. I start with the right foot, but of course I also practice the other way around. My next exercise is with the 6-stroke paradiddles, which I practice with my feet. I mentioned them before. There are 12 parts. Each part has 1 bar with hands only and 2 bars with hands and feet. I play them all as one exercise. Each time I go from one part to the next, I change one of these 3 things: the handedness with feet, the rhythm, or the pattern. By the way, you can download all the notes of this video from my website t-arens.de. Go to drumming. I skip the rest of this exercise and go on to the next one, up-tempo swing. I practice a tempo of 360 BPM with the metronome beeping only every 2 bars. I practice different quarter note combinations of right foot bass drum and left hand snare in combination with the traditional swing rhythm consisting of the right pattern with right hand and the 2 and 4 with left foot. For this exercise I use the traditional grip here, but I also practice it vice versa with matched grip, left hand swing pattern and right hand on snare. Here are my combinations. First, 3 different shiftings of 3 beats consisting of 1 bass drum beat and 2 snare beats. Second, 2 different universal rhythms consisting of 3 bass drum beats and 5 snare beats. 3, 8 different paradiddle exercises as I mentioned before. 4, 4 different universal beats consisting of 3 snare beats and 5 bass drum beats. 5, 3 different shiftings of 3 beats consisting of 2 bass drum beats and 1 snare beat. Now I change from metronome to songs. The following 2 exercises I prefer practicing to songs rather than to a metronome. Songs that have a beat of 90 BPM or 180 BPM. First, there are combinations of 4-fold strokes with hands. A 4-fold stroke is a stroke consisting of 4 beats with 1 hand. The first one has a strong accent and the other 3 exploit the momentum of this accent. I can practice them 1 hand at a time, both hands simultaneously or interlocked. There are 8 variations of the latter. Right hand on downbeat, left hand follows. Right hand downbeat, left hand just before. Left hand downbeat, right hand follows. Left hand downbeat, right hand just before. But the really interesting combinations are the next 4 ones. These are the 4 with a gap between the accents, and these are the ones I practice regularly. Here you see me practicing them to a song called Maybe from Emma Bunton. You can download this particular exercise as PDF from my website. Also, I practice some foot combinations while playing finger-controlled strokes with both hands. I practice the following rudiments with feet: flam faradiddles, flam taps, inverted flam taps. Of course, I practice all three exercises also, beginning with the other foot. I hope I could give you some interesting inspiration with these suggestions and concepts. In my next video, I will explain my practice drum kit and how I use it.